Hello, everyone. This is Jessie Bowen with Elite Publications, and today is our author spotlight. We have Vikki Morrow here with us today, and we go back. Oh, I'm not going to say how far we go back, but we go back more than a minute, everyone. You know, back in the days, I was trying to figure out how to time a white belt. So we go back, and I'm excited to be on our podcast today. We got a lot of great things going on with Elite Publications. So if you are a martial artist or anyone and you're looking to publish a book, then we want to help you to publish your book, make a difference in the world by being able to tell your story. So you can go to our website, and our website is Elite Publications. Running across your screen right now is www.elitepublications.org. And so remember, one of the most powerful things you can do is to share your story. So in our spotlight today, Vikki, she's a martial artist. She's had this incredible life. And so she's written a memoir. Now, someone says, well, what is a memoir? A memoir is where you are taking readers into your life. You've had, life, and it can be good or it can be bad because it's all about learning. So if I've had this great life and I share about you, but I've had trials and tribulations during that, but I've overcome them. So that's great. That's great to be able to have that. If I've had this very successful life, and I'm sharing, I'm giving you the blueprint. So when I think about writing a book, I'm thinking about someone giving you a blueprint to a success plan. So think about that when you're doing a memoir, you've got something to share. Listen, we're all on a journey. And so at the end of that journey, what do you tell the next person as they're on that road? Because we're all going to be on a journey. We're all going to be having these different seasons in our lives. So if I can share something to make your journey better or your season better, then hey, listen, it's a plus. And I tell everyone it's just information. So Vikki, as we get cranked up today, I love the title of your book is How Do You Like Me Now? A memoir. So let's jump right in and let's start with the story point. Tell our audience about you, your beginning. You're a martial artist. You've done all of these things, and you're just at this place in life. And we talked a little bit this morning that you just want to give back and share and inspire.
Absolutely. I became a martial artist as a result of being a musician. As I shared with you earlier, I'm an only child growing up in a very small town back in the 50s. And my dad played church league baseball, and he taught me baseball. I could bat left, I could bat right, I could throw all kinds of different pitches. So he took me down to the local rec center to sign me up for the little league baseball, and was told I couldn't play because I was a girl. Well, I was crushed. My dad was crushed, and he took me back home, and he sat me down on his ottoman, and he said, "You can do anything and be anything you want to be. Do not let this stop you." And he says, "How about music?" Because he and Mom were singers. I said, "I would love to." He says, "I'm going to buy you a guitar." And he did. I was like 10 years old. I still have that guitar, and I have others, and then he got me, I said, "I want to play drums." So he got me a set of drums, and I wanted a bigger set of drums. So he got me that. He says, "Here's the deal. You're going into junior high school. You're going to have to study You're going to have to study the saxophone because that's the deal. I'll get you a bigger set of drums, but I want you to study saxophone and get in the marching band." And I did, and graduated high school and went to the School of Music at East Carolina. But before doing that, as I was playing music, I was a singing drummer, and we were playing at the local VFW hut. Place was packed, and we walked in and there was already a fight broke out. I mean, this guy was slinging a knife, cutting the other guy, and I'm looking like, holy camole. So I ran to the back, called my dad. I said, get the police here. Somebody's going to die. And sure enough, I mean, he was standing with his throat cut. I go walking back across the floor, and our bass player was this long-haired hippie dude. This was like 60s now. And he walked up to the guys and said, guys, you just need to calm down. Well, those two guys that were fighting, quit fighting, grabbed our bass player, threw him across the floor. He hit my drum set, up in the air it went. The guitar player was hiding in the corner. And finally, the cops get there. Holy wow. So we end up in court, of course, and they have to pay for the instruments. And I just happened to be, I think at this time I had my driver's permit, and I was driving around town and saw posters on a telephone pole for karate classes. And this is when the Koreans were coming into the United States to start contract schools. That's what I learned. So I went to the first class. I was the only woman there, which I didn't care. My dad said I could do anything I wanted to do. And I started studying and fell in love with it and still continued to play music. But that first belt test, before 3 or 4 men in suits and ties sitting at a table, oh, that was a little nerve-wracking. So I thought, okay, what's going to happen? So I did what I was supposed to do. And of course, everybody's name is Kim there. And he had a piece of white typing paper sitting in front of him. And he taps it. He calls me to the table. He taps the paper. He says, Kim say paper black. And I'm like, is this a joke? I'm like, I'm just a southern girl. I don't know. And he sees my confusion. So he slides it toward me, taps it again. He says, Kim say paper black. I bowed to him and I said, that paper's just as white as it can be. Well, I flunked the test. So the lesson learned was whatever Kim says goes, obviously. 2 weeks later, they let me take the test again, but he didn't ask me what color that paper was. But then I graduated and went to ECU and School of Music and found karate again. So it was meant to be. It seemed like it was everywhere I went. And it's been the best thing that ever happened to me. And that's where that's where I started studying under Sensei Bill McDonald. And I had some issues with him too.
Well, this is where, I think it gets, really interesting as we go back and reflect. Memoir can be just personal to you. It can be messaging, but you got a lot of memories that are stored. You've got a good mind. I tell people, I've got a good mind. We're both 50s babies. I'm early 50s, so
yeah, me too.
I remember back, and I still got my rocking chair from when I was a baby. A small child. So hey, hallelujah. But but that's what we're talking about: being able to go back and look at these things that's happened in our lives and move forward. And I know in your martial arts career, I actually live in Greenville, North Carolina, and this is where ECU is. And it's also where Grandmaster Bill McDonald, who was a pioneer in so many things. So, I know going to school and starting to get involved in martial arts. So tell us about that relationship as we get ready to connect it all back to your book.
Well, when I started the School of Music, and the School of Music and me playing in rock bands were very different. The School of Music was boring. It was very formal. It was very, they put you in a room with a piano, your major instrument, my saxophone, and a violin. And I thought, man, there's got to be more to life than this. So then again, I started seeing posters on campus, karate classes, and it was supported by the university. So there was a date where, your new students were supposed to show up. I go walking into the dojo, which is a huge gym, is what it was. And 6'5" Sensei McDonald was standing between two groups of people. There's the boys on one side, the girls on the other side, and he's standing in the middle. And I'm like, I walked around, I stood in the middle on the other side, and I looked at him and just looked at each group and like, did my hands like this, like, what? He said, I don't teach boys and girls together. I said, why? I've been studying Taekwondo, and they didn't discriminate against me because I was a female. Well, guys are built different. Girls are built different. They think different. And I said, I have one more question. When I walk back to my dorm tonight, which of these two groups do you think I'm most concerned about defending myself against? It was like a light bulb went off in his head that he had never thought about. And he stood there a minute, and I'm 5'2", he's 6'5". He walked between the two groups, Master Bowen. He stuck his finger in my nose. He says, you're on. Me and you every day. Weekends, while I was not in the bars, I was not partying. 6 days a week, I was training with him in the class and with him privately. So he pushed me to be everything I could be.
Well, that is that's really great. And again, his legacy. We actually honored him in our 2016 book, The Who's Who in the Martial Arts. And but that's what we're talking about. People may ask the question, well, every time I look up and Jessie Bowen is talking about a book. If you don't record this information, then it is lost. It is gone forever. And if you feel that that's not important, then, you need to go back and be a cave person. And and most people really don't think about that. Back in the 50s, there was a lot of segregation.
Oh my goodness, yes.
That's like with men and women. I said the thinking part of women being lesser than and getting involved in the martial arts is like children getting involved. So how did you come up with the title for your book?
Well, being in music, I have a lot of likes in different areas of music. I mean, anywhere from rhythm and blues to country to whatever. But Toby Keith was one of my favorite singers. And when the first time I heard that song, I knew that would be the title of my book as soon as I was able to write it. Because it's what I want to do. What I want to do is send a copy to the rec center in Mooresville that told me I couldn't play because I was a girl. I want to mail them a copy and say, how do you like me now?
Oh, wow. Well, I have one of those stories. I was probably in the, 12th grade. And I was taking this economics class, and they had a section for us to do a business plan. And I was a goof off in school, and it's 1970. And I'm driving my car. I'm just, doing what we did in that period of time. And I did this business plan, and I turned it in, and Mrs. Smith, she called me to the front of the room, and she says, Jessie, did you write this? I'm just waiting for her to pat me on the head like, good boy, and she says, I said, yes, ma'am, I did. She said, no, you didn't, and tore it up and put it in the trash can.
Oh, no.
In front of the class. So my thing is, if I could dig her up now, so that song is How Do You Like Me Now? So no matter, and that is, again, now there's a story, because when we're thinking about our stories and we find ourselves, so there's a difference between the person before I found my power. And, by her tearing that paper up, I still remember it today, just like it was this morning. That's not something that's in a negative side that's connected to me, but it's on a positive side. How do you like me now?
Exactly.
How do you
it's a phrase that so many people could use. I mean, in any phase of their life. And I'm just so lucky that my dad pushed me. My mom gave me the freedom. Of course, I wasn't that frilly little girl she tried to raise, and she was a seamstress, so she liked to sew everything. And but anyway, it's I'm just so proud and so happy that I was able to do everything I was able to do and get the support of people that I never would have thought, like Sensei McDonald. I went to him one day and I said, the university is a great place for our dojo. I said, but we're kind of selling ourselves short. I think we need to get Goju Shorin out to the public. We need a dojo downtown. And he thought a minute and he says, okay, go find a place. So I went riding around and I think it was Dickerson Avenue, somewhere around there. It was a corner building, and it was glass down one side and glass on the front. I thought, wow, this would be perfect. Well, I went back and told him. We rode down together. He says, "Oh yeah, this is the great spot." I had no clue that women could not get credit in the 70s. Did you remember that? Did you know that?
Yeah.
I had no clue. And Sensei McDonald says, "Okay, well, we'll go to the bank together." And then it was years after that I found out that obviously he signed the note so that we could buy equipment, buy furniture, get a sign up, stuff like that. And but so I mean I was 24/7. It seemed like doing martial arts. Got to the point where just like I said, the School of Music was driving me crazy, and I knew that wasn't going to be my life, and I knew martial arts was. So I started devoting all my time to that. And
well, that's another very interesting point that people don't realize, that back during that time of a woman going in, getting credit, expectation of what a woman could do, all those things really play in. And I know that you've already shattered a lot of those molds. And I think your book title, How Do You Like Me Now? I think that you got a lot of places there you could go back and sort of ask that question. And I think that's the part that we want to be able to do, no matter where we are. How many other people have those moments that someone told them they couldn't do it, but they shattered that mold, but nobody knows about it. So I think that, really, this is a really great moment. And starting at the university, I taught at Duke for 29 years. I also ran my martial arts school. But those experiences are a great place that you can influence young people who are now probably would never studied the martial arts, but being on the university campus, they get class credit and all those things. So, that is a great thing. And Grandmaster McDonald, he did a great job of influence and building those, turning a situation into an opportunity. So what is it? Okay, so what's the big thing that your takeaway, from your readers reading your book? What's the big takeaway
from readers reading my book? Well, that's a deep question. What's my takeaway?
Yeah, what do you want? What do you want someone to learn from, or an example that you feel that's in your book that would be able to help them?
You can do whatever you set your mind to do. Do not let anybody tell you can't do it for any reason at all. If you want it bad enough, you'll make it happen. Just like when Sensei McDonald told me I was green belt. Oh, you got to learn to teach before you can go test for brown. I thought, okay, no problem. I'm at the university. No biggie, Oh, no. He showed up with 5 little boys, ages 3 to 5, 3 all over the map there. And I looked at him and I said, "You do realize I'm an only child. I don't know anything about kids." And he looked at me and says, "Figure it out." He turned around and walked off. So I'm like, oh boy. So I started out being a typical hard-nosed instructor and discipline and all this. And I realized I wasn't getting anywhere. And I thought, maybe you need to listen to the students. So I sat them down one day and I said, let's talk about learning martial arts. And I gave each one of them a chance to tell me what they wanted to learn, how they wanted to learn it. And I learned to get out of my box, learn to loosen up, and make it, something where they learn discipline, but let them have fun. And so I learned from that. And they went, two of them went on to make black belt under me before they graduated high school and won all kinds of trophies. They were great competitors. And again, I learned too. So sometimes you just gotta lighten up and realize you might be wrong. You might have the wrong approach. So rethink things.
Well, everyone, again, this is Jessie Bowen. I'm online today with Vikki Morrow. She has a book out, How Do You Like Me Now? It's available on Amazon. Go by, pick up a copy. And to all of the other martial artists and individuals, a book is a powerful tool. In fact, I have a book coming out in a few weeks, is book number 53. So I've published 53 books.
Wow.
And I say that all it means is that I've done 53 things. So I'm always just writing about my experience of how I solved my own problem. And then when I get success from it, this is great information for someone else. The new book coming out is called The Journeyman, and it's really all about self-empowerment, how to be able to work through. It started off as doing some journaling to work on me, And as I'm into the first week, I'm going, wow, somebody else needs to know this. So, from being a personal journal, now it's now a 6-week empowerment course. In 6 weeks, how do I get control? And that's sort of like, as you think about your book, How Do You Like Me Now, is discovering yourself. What people wouldn't let you do, you discover ways to be able to get it done. When they said that you weren't good enough, like I say, you want to send the book back to that baseball coach that said, okay, you're a girl, so we're not going to let you play. But that was their loss.
Oh, I agree. I might have been pretty good.
That's right. That was their loss, and that is your gain.
Right.
So tell us, what's next? Do you think there's going to be another book, or what do you think?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. I haven't gone there yet. I have been in the landscape business for 50 years, and this year has been probably the most challenging. And it really got off to a slow start, and so it's finally picked up. So it's just been hard keeping my direction, I guess I want to say. And I'd already sold my house. So I've bounced around a bit in living situations. But I'm now with this wonderful couple here that I'm in the bedroom where I stay. And he's the one to help me get all this stuff lined up because I don't have a clue. But super, super intelligent man and great mechanic. Just a chef, you name it. This guy, he can do anything. And his wife as well. So I'm kind of rethinking, redirecting some things. I really want to get back to my music. I was playing in a little band this past summer, and I kind of just put my guitar on a back burner because I do still want to play. And I think if I was to go in a direction, is probably get back with this little band and start playing some more. That's what I want to do. Yeah, because I used to play lots of bands. Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing other things come from you, and I'm order myself a copy of the book. And everyone, remember, this book is available on Amazon. So is it available in any other stores besides Amazon? Is it just Amazon?
Just Amazon that I'm aware of, because I mean, that was the way I was told to promote it. I mean, again, that's not my forte. If somebody was to offer me another venue, well, of course, I would go that way. But it's only been, it's been weekend of October 3rd was the day my book came out. And I had it in Texas when I went down to Houston, Texas. And I had a bunch of them shipped down there. And I guess the other thing I want to mention is also, I mean, Professor Lee, and he's been so supportive of that. And my dog, I have a 100-pound bulldog named Mr. Miyagi, and he has his own line of T-shirts. And he's the mascot for the Sport Karate Museum in Texas. So I've actually got on one of his T-shirts. I wear his T-shirts probably more than I wear anything else, because people say, "Who is that?" I'm like, "Oh, this is my dog Miyagi." And but he looks like I'm Mr. Miyagi. He does. So he's my life. So yeah, there's several directions, but I think with music and martial arts, I think it's probably going to be music, because these guys. We played, a friend of ours put in a pool, gosh, a huge swimming pool, $130,000 swimming pool. in the backyard, and we were called the oh shoot, the I can't remember now, but with the getting into the cooler weather, plus so this woman did some traveling, and so we've kind of scattered out a bit, and but a couple of them I'm still in touch with, and so we've talked about just starting small again and just seeing what we can do. Yeah.
Okay. Well, when that next book comes out or you decide to, let us know. Everyone, this is Jessie Bowen with Elite Publications. I'm with Vikki Morrow. Her book, how do you like me now, is available on Amazon. Grab a copy. And so we're going to have some other things coming up. If you are an author and you want someone to promote your book, then again, reach out to Elite Publications so you can reach us online. Our website is www.elitepublications.org. And remember, everyone has a story. You just have to get it out. So, Vikki, thank you and much success.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Master Bowen. Been a great time.